Woo! We are. Yay! You can see me. Okay, cool. Hi, everybody. I am so happy to be here with you. I am just overflowing with excitement. We are here. It's class time. We, it's hump day, it's class day, it's all the things. I'm here. We have a beautiful class ahead tonight, and I'm really excited because I feel like I've got some good insight to share with you. I had a really powerful meditation this morning, and I often do on class days. I often do on class days have a really good, strong, powerful meditation, but today was like uniquely special. Thank you. I was live earlier today doing the regular live readings that I do. And by the way, my allergies are like way crazy tonight. So I took a Zyrtec and I'm just crossing my fingers because my eyes are watering. But honestly, this is the worst allergy season where I live, like that we've had in the last 20 years. And I've got the easy end of it. Half my staff has like just sniffling, sneezing, coughing, like it feels like a cold because there's so much pollen. And so anyway, bear with me. I'm doing my best. But anyway, this is a beautiful Shipibo shawl that I got through one of our Peruvian vendors, and I just love it. It feels like a hug. It feels like mother medicine. It feels like wisdom. Because, of course, these patterns are all the patterns you see during ayahuasca ceremony. And it was really funny because I went to put it on this morning. Like, this is how soul shift is, right? I go to put it on this morning, and I look down at my phone, and I've got a text from my shaman. And he was just texting me to say hi. We check in with each other. So, he was just texting me to say, oh, I'm up in the Bay Area and I just arrived, and how are you, and hope it's great where you are. But it was just so funny because I put it on and it was all this ayahuasca medicine, and then I looked down at my phone and it's like, okay, it's all in alignment. Isn't it good? I know, like those little love notes from the universe really make my day sometimes, I have to say. Even though I'm a faithful person and I trust that magic is real, like it's still really fun when you get proof. Like, ooh, the universe really is listening. I know. Well, a lot of us are allergic to a lot of things that aren't even really identifiable. My kids have allergies, and so I took them to the allergist, and they did the whole panel of, where they prick you on your back and all the things, and it's like, are you really testing for everything? I don't think you can. Yeah. No, it's my allergies, so just bear with me. It causes my eyes to water and get kind of swollen and stuff, but you do what you can do. And it's funny because like it comes and goes. This is weird with allergies too. And I mean, some of the herbal medicine tonight we're going to talk about is kind of relevant to all of this because it's got those properties. But like I was fine yesterday. So how's that happen? Like yesterday, my eyes weren't drippy, nothing was happening, and today it is. So it's like, now I will tell you, we've got Santa Ana winds in Southern California right now, which during fire season are very dangerous, right? Because when it's hot and everything is dry, that's when we get our big Southern California fires. But I do think it's the winds over the last 24 hours that have done me in. So we're hanging in. So tonight we're doing everything. Tonight we are working with your herbs. I have a little ritual meditation situation that I want to do with you with two of your herbs tonight that are just so important for these two particular ceremonies. So I hope you're excited. I wanted to show you something. I think I'm going to go get it. Can you hold on for just a second? I'm going to go get it because I really want to show you something. I'll be right back. I'm back. No, it's not the Mesa, although I could show you that if you wanted me to. But pay attention to me, though, for a minute, because what I'm going to tell you, I think, is just as important. Okay? So a lot of you ask, what do I do with my herbs when we're done? And, of course, we have a candle blessing and dressing bonus class that's coming up where we're going to, put your herbs and your oils on your candles as a tool. Okay. Okay. I will, but can you just hold on and let me tell you this though? Like, can you be with me here right now, and then I'll show you the mesa. But I don't want what I'm about to tell you, I was guided to show you. Okay. 8-ball, yes, Nathan, and you brilliant soul, you truly, Nathan. Like, that's the other suggestion I need to give you. Okay. What's really cute is, back in the day, before I had like a team or even really sold products online, I had a medicine cabinet. And it had all my herbs. I used to go herb shopping when I could and when I could afford it and when I had time. I used to go herb shopping at my favorite little witchy herb shops where I would order online. I mean, now we're talking 20 years ago, so there wasn't as much of like the online thing. The online thing is really such a recent development. And my young magician self would have lost my mind to have all the options that you have today. Do you ever think about that? Okay. Hold on, I'll talk about 8-ball too, and thank you, Nathan, because that was really good that you brought that up. Okay, so I used to have a little medicine cabinet, and keep in mind I had no resources and no space, and I had little kids, and even before I had kids, right? Like, I had cats who would knock things over, so I had no space and no resources. What I used to do was get little jars like this, and you can find them online. You can find them on Amazon. They're spice jars, right? Like for a spice rack. And then I would make my little label. This is charged pebbles from eons ago. These are 10 years old pebbles that I charged in a summer solstice ceremony. Isn't that cute? I don't know what to do with them, so I just kind of hold on to them because it's a sweet memory. They're all kinds of magic. But then I would label whatever the herb was, and I would put that herb in my little jar, and I had a little shelf. And then when I met Dave, he built me a shelf. It's the cutest thing because I love him to death, but that's not his sole gift. Like building cabinetry, that's not his gift. But he really did take a lot of time and a lot of energy and a lot of thoughtfulness to build me a shelf. And then I put my little herbs on that on that little shelf. And so I'm telling you this because it's so super cute. Honestly, I have the best husband on the planet. I really do. Like right now while I'm teaching, because we bought another company last month, you'll hear about this next week when we launch it, but we bought another gemstone company. And so like he's off in another part of the building, meeting with the owners of that company and walking them around and doing this whole thing while I get to teach you. Like he holds down a lot for me that I can't do that and this at the same time. So it's beautiful that I have him. But anyway, yes, I know, it's really exciting. I can't wait to tell you that will be the launch officially of Sage Goddess Wholesale. And so if you have a shop and online or in person and you've been wanting to have Sage Goddess products, like that's coming. And he runs that, and I can't do that, and I don't even really want to do it because I want to focus here. So that's why it's so amazing to have a partner like him. Yeah. Anyway, so he built me a shelf. The reason I'm telling you all of this is your packets, after we're done, like with our ritual tonight, you're still going to have a ton of your powder. You're still going to have a ton of your agrimony. You're still going to have a ton. I know. Okay, I distracted you. Come back. You're still going to have a ton of your Brahmi leaf. And so what I recommend you do is get yourself a little spice rack. And every month, every month, you ready? When you're done with class, take your herbs and then prepare a new jar. You could make prettier labels than I did. This was what I used to do. It's not super fancy. I didn't glitter it. I didn't put rhinestones on it. I didn't fancy it up. I know. I'm like, come back. I took you somewhere else. Come back. So that's what I recommend you do, because my goal, and I think your goal, is to have a library of magical herbs and oils that when you need them, you have them. When I'm done teaching you, don't you love it? This is Lover's font, which is like this. I chose this font from my own herbal storage probably 15 years ago. It's ended up being the primary font for Sage Goddess on Google. So I love it so much I carried it through all the stuff that we do through SG. Okay, I'm glad you're digging it, Tori. And here's the thing. Sometimes I don't tell you this stuff because I'm like, oh, they know this, or oh, they don't need to talk about organization and storage. And yet I'm like, we kind of do need to talk about it because it's harder to store this than it is to store herbs. And on Amazon for like $20 you can get all the little jars and like a little spinning thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, and you can put your own labels on it. So that's what I recommend you do, because like, for example, tonight, right, we're going to talk about different herbs that you can use, agrimony, for example, and really important ritual uses for that I think you will need, not just tonight, but then once you learn it tonight, then you're going to want to show it to your friends or to your family, or when they come to you with a challenge, you're going to be like, I've got this. Or a client that comes to you and has that problem, and you're like, okay, I've got the thing. You want to have it in a handy kind of format, or a, in an option where you can easily grab it, pull it, and then light your charcoal disc and do the thing, right? So that's my suggestion. Okay, so Santa Priya mentioned something really interesting too. She said, I'm always worried about gathering a lot of tools, knowing that she may have to move out of the country and she doesn't want to lose everything. Now, this gets into another. My Venus is in Virgo, so I can talk organization shit with you all night long. Like, I actually find organization sexually exciting. It's kind of a problem. My kids would tell you that I'm like the organization master, but it's because disorganization for me clutters up the energy field and I can't think straight. So my house is organized, most of the shop is organized, my office is organized. It's so good. And organization does not cost much. It's about intention and being creative, because you have all kinds of food jars and plastic containers at home that you can use. You don't have to go buy anything. It's about being creative. It's really true. Maybe that's why it's organized chaos, like Cynthia was saying. Like, it's really, this gets me off, okay? So I'm going to talk to you more about this. When you, so Robin just bought organizers too. See, this is on everybody's mind right now. Let me go back to the comment. What was I? Yeah, what about crystals and how do you organize crystals? Okay, so if you, on Amazon, again, you can find trays. And you can find them really affordably too. They have plastic trays, they have bamboo trays. I love bamboo because bamboo is a conductive wood. Bamboo has a really strong frequency and vibration. And so it aligns to clarity and to peace and to acceptance and surrender. Bamboo is just magic. You can find really affordable. Sometimes Container Store is good and sometimes it's too expensive. I find that the prices on Amazon for bamboo are a little bit better than Container Store, but you have to try. Mason jars are absolutely fantastic for all of that too. But trays are really helpful. And what I do is I make chakra trays. Mine at home are small, but it's like, that's my root chakra tray. So my stones for the root are all on there. So if I know someone who needs something, or I've been working with something, I'm not feeling grounded, I'm not feeling connected, I go and get my root chakra tray, and I'll use my non-writing hand to allow myself to choose a stone I need to work with right now, and then that's what goes into the broth for the day. If I'm feeling too grounded and my intuition isn't as strong, then I'll go to my third eye tray or my crown chakra tray. And again, feeling around, kind of letting when you use your non-writing hand to choose, that shuts off your conscious mind. So normally isn't it fun? Shelley's a tray goddess. It's really helpful. And again, you can find a tray for $1. Go to the dollar store, get 9 plastic trays for $9 and organize them from Earth Star to Soul Star. It will keep you organized, and it'll also make you feel like you know where to go, because here's the method to my madness. I think you're in Soul Shift because you're a healer. And you may not be working with people right now, but I hope you will. I don't know what that's going to look like for you. I don't know how you're going to bring that to the world, but I hope you will. And so your mesa is ready to go, accessible for you to work with clients. Your little gemstone trays, same things, ready to go, work with clients. Your little herbal jars, you could go all Venus and Virgo and organize them alphabetically, which I actually do, which is annoying, but I absolutely do that. All ready to go to work for your clients or for your friends or your family or your child who's having anxiety, and you're like, I've got 9 different things that we can work with right now. It's fun, right? So I'm taking minutes out of Soul Shift tonight to talk to you about this, because here's my fear. I don't want really all of this to go sit in a drawer. You're going to forget what you have, because, I mean, if you're anything like me, you're going to forget what you have. Okay, 8-ball. Ready? I don't have a jar here to show you that looks like my 8-ball jar. My 8-ball jar does exist, though. It's over in our little design area. Okay. This is super fun. Ready? 8-ball is sexy. And it's easy, and you can go make it right after class. I don't want you to leave and go make it now, but right after class, I would encourage you. 8-ball is your unique proprietary blend of little bits and pieces and leftovers of herbs that you've gathered on your travels. And it's so fucking fun to create it. Are you ready? So you get a mason jar. Again, go on Amazon, mason jar heaven, right? So a couple bucks, get a couple of mason jars, and then all the little bits and bobs that are left over, as long as you're okay with that, it's the stone soup for herbs. That's exactly right, Ursula. So you throw them in your little jar, and then here's what's really cool. Ready? When I'm traveling and I'm out and about and I see a cool herb, like that hot lip sage I saw last weekend, I was like, that's cool. I don't have that. I took a little tiny piece. I said a blessing and a prayer over the plant. I took a little tiny clipping of it, and I dried it. And it's going to go in 8-ball. Isn't that fun? So 8-ball becomes like little samplings of everything that you have seen and worked with and admired and gathered and right? I know Kenneth's all excited to do it. Nobody thinks about this, but it becomes, it's sort of like composting your herbs, but then continuing to use them for a sacred purpose. What I like is make a 2019 8-ball. Everything from 2019 that's left over, where you don't have enough to like justify putting it in a little herb jar. Okay, so like maybe you have half an ounce, a quarter ounce, whatever, and then you're out and about with your kids, and I'm like, I'm gonna take a cutting of that to go put it in my 8-ball. Make sure you dry everything. So here's where this could go kind of lopsided, and I want to teach you from my bad experiences so you don't make the same mistakes. I at one point got excited. I wanted to put something in my 8-ball, okay, and it wasn't dry yet, and it mildewed, and it ruined my whole supply of 8-ball. It grew like green nastiness, okay? So the rule is, unless it's dry, it doesn't go in 8-ball. It's really sad for me to tell you that, because the day I opened my 8-ball jar and I was all excited I was going to use it as an incense because it's like the best incense. It's your unique proprietary blend. I opened it and I was like, are you kidding me right now? Like, I had collected and saved and gathered, and so really, really, really wait until it's dry. Well, here's the thing. If you guys learn from that and don't ever make that mistake, then I will feel like I didn't make that mistake in vain. Roses, rose petals, you better dry them. And if you want to be really safe and secure, do you want to know the ultra witching tip for this? Before you put anything in your 8-ball, throw it in your grinder. Throw it in your food processor. That's how you'll really know it's dry. If it's pulverized and it's powdered, chances are it doesn't have any condensation in it, which could turn to mold if you're not careful. Yeah, Jalen has made the same mistake too. Ugh, and Katie Cat knows. Rose mold smells like nothing you ever want to smell again as long as you live. So I don't know, Bonnie. I call it 8-ball. Up in San Francisco, it was me and 3 other women working together. Dave used to run technology companies in Silicon Valley. That was his life up there. So, and I ran Sage Goddess, and it was super tiny, and we were naughty and we didn't follow any rules. I mean, honestly, it wasn't like employees even. I don't even think we had like a start time. I was kind of like, whenever anybody shows up, that's when we're going to start. And then when we're all tired, we're going to go home. We used to order pies to be delivered. We would be like, God, doesn't pie sound good? It happened like 5 times. And then we would order a pie, and then just everybody would take an hour break to sit and eat pie. I mean, it was a sweet time. And so one day we're all sitting around, and I was throwing all this stuff into a jar, and they were asking me like, why are you doing that? And I said, because I've only got a little bit of this and a little bit of that, but like all together it's magical, and every single thing has an energy, right? It's like a little bit of this from this person and a little bit of that from that person, And so they're like, what are you going to call it? And I said, I don't know, like something fun, but and magical, kind of, but like you don't know what's in it. And we came up with 8-Ball, which actually has a bad connotation in some ways, but that's not the kind of 8-Ball I'm talking about. It was fun. I'm still in touch with those girls, and we talk about it sometimes. Like, remember we used to just order pie, and if we were really stressed out, we would eat our pie for like 2 hours instead of 1 hour. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's why I'm saying Diana. It has a bad connotation, but I'm not talking about it in that light. Okay. So I am going to smudge. I'm glad we talked about all that, because I don't want you to feel like, look, I have this mesa and I didn't use all my herbs, and so now the thing is a waste. Like, that's the opposite of what I'm trying to teach you, I guess. I'm trying to teach you to conserve. I'm trying to teach you to use resources thoughtfully, and I don't even like the word use. I'm trying to teach you how to be in relationship. I'm trying to teach you how to heal, not just yourself, but other people. And I'm trying to teach you how to create a practice. And so that requires that you have a library. I mean, think of it as your pharmacy in a way, right? Like, what are your options? If someone comes to you and says, I'm depressed, I'm anxious, I'm fearful, or physically, I'm inflamed, I have too much swelling, I have edema, I have, you know what I mean? Like, despachos, right? Teresa Jolly. So just know, we've had quite a few people write into us and say, I've got so much left over. Why do I have all this left over? And it's like, well, you have it left over because you're trying to build a library. And I'm trying to like kind of get you there. In your time. Okay. So my smudge wand, which I'm super excited to use. So just clearing any energies that don't belong to us, any energies not in service to the highest good of the collective. The more you do this work, the more people are going to come to you and say, I've got this, what do you have? I've got that, what do you have? Because what's happening right now is we are outgrowing Western medicine. We're out evolving Western medicine. I just had my day-long neurology appointment with the head of neurology at Cedars-Sinai Hospital yesterday, and she more or less acknowledged it. We're outgrowing. Our systems are like sort of not being adequately supported. And so we're going to have to figure some stuff out. And I hope that excites you. I hope that doesn't like make you nervous. I hope that excites you to say, okay, so maybe I'm part of that next wave who's going to bring in some new information and new wisdom. So that one is white sage with roses, although I just used a little piece of the white sage out of it. So this is what a little bouquet of white sage looks like, which I think is really beautiful. You can store your herbs forever. I still have my original herbs from 25, 30 years ago. I still have the first batch of sage bundles I ever made by hand. I still have one. I mean, that's old. So your herbs, when they're really, really dry, are not going to go bad on you. Okay, so tonight I want to dive right in because I have so much to tell you. We're going to go through all of our herbs and dedicate them. I would like you to get some incense, get some charcoal going so we can burn some stuff. I've got a little charcoal disc right here. Can you guys see this? So this is your incense burner from last month, and so we're putting it to good use tonight. Yes, before we start doing anything, I will ring the bell. But I'm just sort of getting everything set up and ready to go, so you can put your charcoal disc on there and just get it ready. Just getting it all fired up. And remember that tonight we're working with those three muses. We're working with their energies. And so that's why this particular class is so special and so important, because they're important. And just as much as we need to do our shadow work and we need to acknowledge the darker and heavier aspects of life, we also need to acknowledge the lighter and more beautiful aspects of life too. The two parts make the whole. All right, that is like cooking and ready to go. I hope you love those incense burners. I love mine. I have one at home too, and I can't get enough of it. It's seriously one of my favorite things. You love it too? Okay, so charcoal's warming. We're all set to go. And so we begin. Remember too that you need, if you have one, a double terminated quartz wand to charge your grid tonight. That's important. You don't have to have it, but if you want to, that's what I use to activate the grid. And so we're going to be going into that grid and activating it tonight together too. I'm going to move this off to the side and move my candle down south. Make sure my grid is all in place, which it looks like it is. Okay, and the oils and the Sharpie and the there's all kinds of like supplies this month. I'm glad you like it. Yeah, and you can. And so your charcoal, by the way, your ash is still ash that needs to be dedicated and released to the east of your garden. It's really important. You have to release or return all of your ash from the bottom of your abalone shell and from your incense burner, and all of that is ash that you give back to your garden in the east. Really, really important. And the reason you give it back to the east is because that's where the cycle begins, and so you're returning it back. You're creating a new life cycle for a new plant to grow, for something new to prosper. Okay. Let us begin. There is tangerine. Oh, there is tangerine in the candle. Yes, rose. There is. So your candles are always poured with all of the essential oils that come with your mesa. So that's important for you to know. Yeah, put the ash. It's beautiful. Gina said she usually puts the ash into her indoor plants. Your plants love the ash. And so, because it's just full of micronutrients for them. So definitely do that. It's a beautiful way to continue the life cycle. Okay, so our themes this month, I want you to take just a moment, call your energy into present time. I'm going to call in our spirit guides, the guardians of the 7 sacred gateways, to be with us this evening, to hold sacred space with us and for us, as we prepare to dedicate these incredibly sacred tools to our work for the rest of the month. And we give thanks for your presence, for your wisdom, for the connection to all that is tonight. We ask that you rejuvenate us and to re-inspire us and to reconnect us with our deepest sense of purpose and possibility as we enter the season of growth ahead. And together we say, Amen, Aho, and so it is. Just a little bit of a prayer to center us, to bring us into this moment together, really connect us energetically across space and time. That feels good. Okay, I'm going to give you a couple of keywords that for me describe the energy of this month. And then what I want you to do is keep the list going. Okay, the 3 graces, as you know, are joy and beauty and delight, right? It's like, it's all happiness, it's all beauty, it's all enjoyment, it's all possibility. And I think it's okay for us to really put our focus right there this month, because there are other months in the year when we focus on all of the other energies, right? All of the counterpoints to joy, all of the counterpoints to beauty, all of the counterpoints to good cheer, right? The shadow sides of those emotions. We're not denying them. We're just creating extra space for the lighter side this month. And I think it's really needed. And I think it's needed not just for us, but I think it's needed for our planet. I really watch Facebook more than I engage. I watch as an indicator of satisfaction. And there's a lot of sort of direct and also concealed requests for help and support. People are really reaching out. People are trying to find joy. They're trying to find lightness and sweetness and beauty, and sometimes it feels superficial, I think, to people. Like, is it okay to seek beauty? Is it okay to seek lightness? Is it okay to focus on what's good? Is it okay to just be dreamy? And that's right. Cindy said so many take themselves too seriously, and these are indeed serious times. So I'm not making light of global warming and like kind of all the realities that are around us too. Like I'm not I'm not putting blinders on. But what I am saying is, what you focus on, you expand. Energy follows intention. Those are the 3 most powerful words I will ever teach you, no matter how long we work together. Some of us have worked together for almost 8 years now. Some of you just joined last month. But I promise you, no matter how long we work together, I'll never say 3 more important words to you. Energy follows intention. Do you want to be happy? Like, really? Do you know? People say, oh, I want to be happy. But when I peel back the onion and I look inside their mind and their heart, they're not focused on happy thoughts. They're angry and bitter and sad. And then they're manifesting more of that. Like, when I push into people's energy fields, sometimes there's a dissonance. Like, I am consciously, really, truly, heart and soul to you, trying to create happiness. Is my life perfect? No, it absolutely is not, right? Like, I can name 5 things for you right now that I would change, right? If I could. Can't. But I'm really trying to create happiness. So if you peel back, it might look superficial and kind of dumb, but if you were to peel back my thoughts, most of the day I'm asking myself, how can I enjoy this moment? How can I be more present now? How can I be of service to others? How can I lighten up my reality so that my kids can enjoy their life more? How can I, right? Well, thank you, Diana. I really appreciate it. You gotta really look. And I'm not talking about what you post on Facebook, and I'm not talking about what you tell people you think are gonna judge you. I'm talking to your soul right now. Like, what are you actually thinking? Because I would love to get inside that a little bit. And then be able to say to you, look, I see what's going on there, right? And so if you don't change that, you're not going to have a different experience of your reality. I'll just level with you. Like, you could take this class till the cows come home, as my grandmother used to say, right? It's not even a good investment if you're not going to do it, right? Like, what the fuck are you doing? Yeah, and it's okay, right? Like, and it's okay to say, I'm scared, I need to do better, I need to lighten up. Like, that's honestly, like, congratulations. Because if you can witness it and turn it around, I mean, and again, I'm not talking about what you show your partner or your kids or your employer or your parents or your friend who's judgmental, or I'm not talking about any of that. I'm talking about, like, real deal, you alone at 2 a.m. in the morning. Like, that's where I need you to turn it around, because that's actually the time when you are really manifesting the most. And if all you think about is what could go wrong and what you don't like and why things aren't better, and then you're just going to keep perpetuating what you already have. And then you're going to look at me in December and say, nothing changed. And it's like, but you have to do it. And I have this little, what I call a come to Jesus, right, with myself. Like, I had one a couple of days ago in the middle of the night. I woke up and I was, like, running through, like, fears and worst case scenarios and, like, all this stuff. A lot of it about my daughter's health, but other things too. And I stopped myself. I'm like, what the fuck right now? Like, why are you doing that? You know better than to do that. What of those thoughts is about the present moment, anything happy, anything positive? Like, what's positive there? Is that, what are you trying to create? And so I think it's true. I mean, Katie said do the work, but again, it's not about what anybody else in the world sees, including me. It's about what's really happening with you in the middle of the night, at the end of the day, when you first wake up in the morning, in those quiet moments. Like, what's really happening with you? Because that's the test. And if those thoughts are negative, then the rest of it doesn't matter. Because I'm not interested in the representation of you. I'm interested in you. Right? And a lot of us can, like, see through each other a little bit too, which is cool. It keeps you accountable in a certain way, or in the tub, or in the shower, or when you're masturbating, or whenever you're doing your good work. Okay, so my words for April, right? My words for April are joy and beauty and flow and appreciation and delight. I used to work for a company called the Corporate Executive Board in Washington, D.C. I worked for them for a couple of years. That was my main consulting gig. And their mantra was, we want to delight our customers. And I always thought that was really cool. They didn't just want to satisfy them or like check off a box. They wanted to delight them. They wanted to spark joy in them. They wanted to, delight literally means to open up to light energy. And I thought that was a pretty cool mantra, you know what I mean? For a corporate organization to want to delight their customers. So I want to delight. I want to be delighted. I want to bring delight to other people. I want to be one who opens up pathways to light energy for others. I want people to see me and zing a little bit. You know what I mean? So, and I love it. Look at the feed, right? Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. E's for V Water Dog, right? Well, you know what, though? Debbie's saying I've been staying away from the feed on Facebook, but I'll tell you something. Before I go into Facebook, I set the intention to be a source of delight. I don't always succeed, but I think if you set that intention, like, it's almost a natural protective barrier. I have a friend, and I think she's right, and she always says, if you need to use herbs to clear energy, if that's really what you feel you need to use your herbs for, then you haven't done the spiritual work, because clearing energy is a spiritual matter. What do you think of that, right? Well, and thank you for that, and you are too. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I don't know, and again, half the time I'm like, I probably just seem like some overly optimistic, mystical, kind of airy-fairy person, but I honestly do think that the universe is beautiful. I think plants are beautiful. I think things that aren't beautiful are beautiful. I think that sadness can be beautiful. Like, there's a way to find beauty in almost everything, right? I don't know what I said. Right? I don't know. I don't know what I just said. Once I say it, I let it go. I do. I really let it go. We'll watch the recording together and we'll figure out what I said. Oh, what she said was, if you really feel you need to use your plants to clear energy, then you're doing it wrong. Because clearing energy is a spiritual matter. It's kind of like Reiki. Do you know what I mean? Like, if you work with the symbols, do you really need to smudge? It's a question. Not saying that we don't, but it's a question, right? I'll hold to that. Well, I will tell you something. I think there's people who go on Instagram and learn about smudging and all of a sudden are like trying to torch people with sage bundles, who absolutely don't understand how to take responsibility for and manage their own energy. Do I think that's true? Yes, I do. And do I sometimes worry that people think that they can be a huge asshole in life and just burn a bunch of sage and it'll all be okay? I do. I do worry about these things. Like, sometimes, honestly, late at night I do. I'm like, am I really training people? Am I giving them good protocol? Am I being a responsible and diligent teacher? Like, all the memes about, here's my house when I'm smudging and it's like a house with smoke coming through the windows and stuff. Like, it's kind of bypassing in a way. Like, I'm sorry, but no matter where you are, you're responsible for your shit. You can't just look and say it was that person and that person and that person, but I did nothing. It's like, no, right? It's true. Okay, so let us dive right in. I'm going to go to our essential oils first, and we're going to perfume. Actually, nope. Spirit wants me to go to herbs, and so it is. Let me go to the herbs because we have a little ritual work to do together. Are you ready? Okay, agrimony. Is my incense still? Ooh, it's so ready for me. I'm so ready for it right now. I want to burn things. Yeah, for sure, Colleen. Team SG and I will work on that for you. I think that's a great suggestion. Yeah. I mean, honestly, at some point, I'm going to stop teaching. Right? All your teachers will. At some point, you are the medicine. We're all here to advise you and guide you and give you our best suggestions, and then we're going to step back and watch you carry it forward with a lot of excitement. Like, ooh, where's she going to take it, right? So it's like, at some point, right? It's interesting. Okay. Agrimony. Take 3 deep inhales. Ready? Okay, here's what you need to know about agrimony. When you burn it, it cuts cords. Now I'm going to teach for a few more years. 2 or 3 more years is what I imagine. After that, I kind of want to work in person with people, which might surprise you, but I really need to be physically in space with people. So I want to do, after 2 or 3 years from now, I think I just want to maybe do some online hang space and then have people coming to me to really do like a week or 2 of intensive physical hands-on, get dirty, plant medicine, do the thing kind of work. So you got a couple years left. Love you guys. Okay, agrimony. Now, so we're going to start out the gate here. Ready? That's right. Yeah, no, I'm one of those people. A lot of people love teaching online and just never seeing people in person, but I need it. I need to hug and touch and look in eyes, and I need all that. So I want more of that, especially as I get older. Like I want that. Okay. Okay. So if you're ready, what I want you to do with your agrimony is I want you to experience it. Okay, so I'm going to pour a little bit on the charcoal. I'm going to first ask the medicine of agrimony to clear any negative energies or vibrations or frequencies from my space. And so sending any energies that are unwanted or unhelpful or unhealthy for myself or for anyone else who works in, inhabits this space in any way, I'm going to send those energies down the 4 corners. Return those energies to the very center of the earth where they can be transformed and transmuted into usable white light. And just allow agrimony to clear anything from you, your space, doesn't it? It's really different. It's really different, isn't it? Yeah, one day the in-person stuff will be really special, I think. Okay, now, if you're ready, but only if you're ready, this is the second step. The second step is that you can ask agrimony to cut or narrow cords to anyone or anything that is not in service to your higher good. But that's always risky, because you may think someone's in service to your highest good and they're not. And when you're working with plant medicine, it doesn't mess around. Okay? Are you ready? Only if you want to do it, because this has to be something that like you have a full body yes to. It can't be like, oh, I don't know, maybe I should, maybe I could. If you don't feel like you want to do it right now, you can watch me and do it later. Okay? And so with this second round, I give permission to agrimony medicine to remove any relations from my life that are not in service to my highest good and the highest good of those I love. I ask that those transitions be smooth and peaceful. I ask that they unfold in perfect time and in alignment with the highest good of all. Amen, aho, and so it is. And I'll tell you why I do it. Because I've learned not to be afraid. When I try to hold on to anything that is not mine, that does not go well. I end up with people who are codependent, or I end up with people who don't bring good stuff in. And so I have really learned, I really don't want anything that the universe doesn't want for me. Does that make sense? Right? Dawn said the same thing. I have no pause. If my guides believe it needs to be done, aho. I mentioned this in the live readings earlier today, you can only lose what you're clinging to. if you really are willing to like release your grasp, your life is going to be better and easier, more prosperous. You're physically going to be healthier and happier. Watch your back pain go away. The minute you say, you know what, take from me what does not serve me, what is not in alignment, take it. Watch your body pain go away. You are contracting and holding, and we end up being, especially women, we end up being like little old ladies like this, hunched over, because we stopped allowing energy to move through for the highest good, right? It was one of the readings I did today for someone in sabbatical. It was like, what are you holding on to, right? It's like you're chained to it. And here's the thing, if you have to hold it to keep it, do you really have it? I had a friend once who was like, I don't care. I'm staying married to my husband. He can't leave. I don't care if he's happy or not. And I knew the husband wasn't happy. I remember asking her, like, is that really a good marriage to you? Like, that you refuse to let him go? Like, is that winning? At any cost? Do you know what I mean? Agrimony. That's the medicine. Whew. Okay, the next herb is Brahmi leaf. Actually, no, hold on. Yes, it is. The herb of grace. It's interesting, isn't it? Yeah, you don't want to hold people hostage. I mean, what the hell? You don't want what you don't really have. It's not meant for you, do you know? Yeah, SG team is taking all the notes tonight. You got nothing to do but just sit here and look at me and smile and enjoy your next hour and 5 minutes of time together. That's awesome, Candace Mills. And honestly, your partners get so much happier when you surrender. I mean, because you empower them to become, and which means if you're meant to be together, you'll stay longer. Can you imagine being in a partnership with somebody who was like, I'm not leaving and you can't leave? And I mean, the Sagittarius moon in me like wants to vomit when I hear that. Like, what do you mean I can't leave? If you tell me I can't leave, then I'm gonna leave. Right? Surrender's big work, Amanda. Yeah, don't ever tell a Sagittarius they can't leave. Like, that's our biggest fear. I'm always like, oh, I can leave anytime, right? There's no lock on that cage. If you don't know a Sagittarius, you don't know what we're like. We're always threatening to flee. My mantra in life is, I am about 8 hours from a good fucking time right now. 8 hours from now, I could be in Brazil. 12 to 15 hours from now, I could be somewhere in Southeast Asia. Like, you best behave, because I have a passport and a credit card, right? Bye, Felicia. Colin knows what I'm talking about, too. Okay. So, Brahmi leaf. Take 3 deep inhales. God, I love this so much. This is one of my favorites, truly, of like the whole year that we've planned out. This is one of my favorites. Seriously. I get scared as Dave sometimes, because I'm always like, the minute those kids graduate from high school, like, I'm in an ashram. I'm like, you won't even be able to find me. I'm going to be so deep in the jungle with my peoples that, like, the kids are going to be like, have you heard from Mom? Nobody's heard from her since, like, October. Bye, kids. Come to the forest. Okay, let me tell you about this. Ready? This is the feminine essence of universal consciousness. Brahmi leaf. I'm going to say that again. The feminine essence of universal consciousness. This is the source of all creation. Isn't it beautiful? I'm going to burn a little bit. You're welcome to burn it too. I like to burn the good things, the sacred things. And these are really beautiful offerings to Spirit. Oof. So thankful to all these plant teachers who are coming through tonight to really inspire and awaken and empower us. By the way, this is really good for focus, really good for memory, right? I don't know what the counterpart is, Skylar. It's a great question. Yeah, I don't know. Let me think about that. See if I can find an answer for you. I don't have it for you right now. Yeah, Rosie, it could be past life medicine for you, for sure. In India, it's given to kids to help their cognitive performance. So it really does. help you think better and more clearly. My charcoal kind of fizzled out on me, so I'm just lighting it up. I'm torching it up. Okay. Obviously, it's named after the Hindu god Brahma, who's the god of all creation. It's calming. Okay. This is very calming and centering to your central nervous system. So what I want you to do, especially if you've been working with fear energies lately, and again, don't judge yourself. Like, we all work with fear energy. Do you know what I mean? Yeah, it's used as a tea. I'm burning the shit out of it right now, but you can also take it as a tea. So what I want you to do is, if you've been working with too much fear, I want you to call the smoke in with your hands and direct it to the root chakra. So I'm asking this plant medicine to integrate with my root chakra, help call in energies and feelings of peacefulness, safety, grounding, connection to source. And again, can you imagine working with a client who's ungrounded? And you just say, you know what, sit down, I'm going to do a little sound healing with you. Maybe you play one of your crystal tune, your tuning fork or your pyramid or your singing bowl. And then you light your charcoal and you place your Brahmi herb and you focus on sending these energies to the root chakra. And giving thanks for grounded consciousness. That's what this is. This is grounding consciousness. This is consciousness to bring you into the present moment, to help you reconnect with whatever needs to be learned or discerned in this moment. Tools to activate and expand your consciousness in this moment. And it has a slight sedative effect too, so if you're feeling a little bit soft, that can help too. Yeah, we're hoping to get the pyramids back for the holidays. It's going to take us at least 90 days, unfortunately, to get the pyramids back. But we were excited that you guys were excited about those. So Larissa, I see your comment. So if you can, Team SG, if you can make a note of that, or Larissa, if you haven't written into Magic already, could you write into them, and then we'll make sure you get the right oils for the month. Woo! Okay, next up is St. John's wort, and this one you're going to want to burn too. The Greeks believed. There's such a funny story about St. John's wort. If you don't know it, I'm super excited to tell you about it. So St. John's wort is named after St. John the Baptist. And St. John's wort, by the pagans, was burned at the summer solstice. And so what the Christians did is they decided that summer solstice would be St. John the Baptist's birthday. And so it became known as St. John's herb or St. John's wort because it was burned on his birthday, which was also known as the summer solstice in the pagan tradition. Interesting, isn't it? So if you ever wondered, like, where did that name come from, or why do they call it St. John's wort? It's a Christianization of a pagan tradition to burn this at Litha, which is the summer solstice. And quite a few of the herbs in this month's kit are meant for summer solstice work, and so one of the things you could do too is you could combine them into a summer solstice incense if you wanted to. So we give permission now for beautiful St. John's wort to come through and to protect us from dark energies. Just thought in ancient Greek times, in ancient Greek mythology, that St. John's wort, when it was burned, prevented demons from entering a space, low frequencies, low vibrations, evil spirits, all of that. Interesting, isn't it? Very, very interesting stuff. Okay, also associated with Baldur, who is the Norse god of light, joy, purity, and the summer sun. It's burned at Litha to bring in solar energy, brings courage, fertility, freedom, happiness, attracts prosperity. It's an antidepressant. Everything in this month's kit attracts prosperity. So if I were you, I would take the herbs from your April kit, just a pinch of them, and the herbs from your May kit, just a pinch of them, and then blend them with some mint, some basil, some cinquefoil at a minimum. But basil's easily accessible and it's affordable. Patchouli leaf if you can get it. And I would make yourself a prosperity 8-ball. Because I'm telling you, every herb in this kit is known to attract prosperity, and every herb in your May Mesa attracts prosperity. Right? May prosperity 8-ball. You're going to have some tools that would be hard to gather otherwise. Yeah, a little bit of bay would be great. Cinnamon, like cinnamon chips, or a little cinnamon stick in there. Right? Yeah, May's theme is prosperity, and the goddess is Lakshmi. You have a little statue of Lakshmi super blingy, covered in crystals on your May Mesa. I'm going to go live if I can after class tonight into Soul Shift just to show you the Mesa, because I would show you now, but it's like down on the floor and it's kind of hard to get to. But I would love to show it to you. Something to look forward to. Okay. Fertility, prosperity, sensitivity to the spirit realms, strengthens the physical body, encourages mental well-being, relieves depression and anxiety, serves as a gentle guide in dream work, helps you release fear and liberate yourself from worries and self-limiting beliefs, protects from evil spirits, demons. Did you know that the ancient Greeks, and that's what I'm saying, like this is, when you talk about St. John's wort, it does all the things. The ancient Greeks actually believed that the most powerful demon or evil spirit one could encounter was one's own mind. And I will say, most people can conjure worse stuff in their own mind than they could ever conjure out in the spirit realm, right? I mean, you know what I mean? St. John's wort grows in North America. Ours is North American. You'll find it in other parts of the world too, but ours comes from North America. Isn't that true? Seriously, the scariest shit you'll probably ever think about comes from your own mind. It's really true. Okay, now, eyebright is the last herb for tonight. And if your charcoal is still cooking, I'm going to kind of move mine around a little bit. I'm going to get a new disc. Oh no, it's still going. Once I shook off some of the ash, I got a nice kind of spicy middle part there I can cook up. Get that moving. Okay. Eyebright powder. Do you know what its Latin name is? Euphrasia officinalis. It's named after one of the three graces. That's why it's in here. When we created this kit for you, the first herb we decided on was Euphrasia, was eyebright. This is truly, truly, truly the herb of happiness. If you want to know, and it's happiness by seeing things as they are, not through the filter of your anxiety and your fear and your resistance. It's like seeing things in the light of day without the filter of your own baggage and your own trauma. It's like, how would a child see your life? It's interesting, right? This you would use with a client where you needed to restore optimism, where the person's like, I don't believe anymore. I lost my faith. I don't trust people anymore. This is fairy realm magic. Connects you with the Fae, Queen Mab, a little bit too. It's all about indulging your childlikeness, isn't it? And that's the medicine of it. It's very good for clairvoyance. It activates and opens the third eye chakra, helps to encourage prophetic dreams. If you inhale this before you go to sleep, you're going to see some interesting things tonight. That is up to you if you want to go on a wild ride. This is called eyebright. And eyebright, by the way, it was thought in ancient Greece that there was a bird, I think it's called the linnet, who used this herb to clear and protect the vision of its young. And then the linnet, this is the ancient Greek mythology, the linnet, or that bird, taught mankind how to use eyebright in order to enhance sight. But it's not really, I don't know, I didn't put this one up my nose. If you want to be bold, you can. It's not sight like being able to see 20/20. It's sight like putting on rose-colored glasses a little bit to feel happier and lighter and a little effervescent and a little. Are you feeling it? Michelle's feeling it a little bit, like it is. And then, the alchemist in me starts going, I could mix this with frankincense to clear energy, and then I could mix a little buchu or a little mandrake in there, or a little mugwort to kind of like, or blue lotus to soften a little bit, so that the vision becomes soft and the mind quiets a little bit and the energy softens and opens. And that's where you go to your medicine cabinet and you're like, eyebright, mandrake, buchu, copal, right? And you start grabbing all the ingredients with rose, right, Dawn? You go frangipani, little frangipani medicine, Cindy Conti, right? St. John's wort for sure, because it's going to soften, open, de-stress, support, expand. And then you end up like me, and 3 hours later, you're with a mortar and pestle trying to make some big time magic, right? Are we out of Boom Shiva? That's because that's what all of the, honestly, that's what a lot of my more conservative clients use to have a good time. Because they don't like to use like the official things, but they know that Boom Shiva is going to take them on a little bit of a ride. So I have a whole bunch of conservative ladies who have a little fun with the boom, if you know what I mean. It's good stuff. It's good medicine. Okay. That is all of your herbs. Now let's talk about your essential oils. Well, Lisa, that's why my team takes notes, so that you don't have to worry about that. And that way you have everything. Like, I'm hoping that by the end of the year, with the notes that my team takes, you end up with like an encyclopedia of sorts. But even after using all of these herbs tonight and powders in our little ceremony here, there's still a ton of it left. Could make a beautiful 8-ball, right? Oh, you guys, I so have to take a break from writing for a minute. When I write a book, I really write it. I don't have like a ghostwriter or like a co-author or anything. So it's just me, a computer, and holy shit, it's hard work. I love writing, but writing an encyclopedia of herbs right now sounds really stressful. Oh yeah, the boom is unbelievable. Okay. So now we're going to go into our oils. We're going to do our perfuming together. Super excited about this blend that we are going to make. We are working with bergamot medicine tonight. Woo! So glad you guys are here. Really, really glad. Do I seem tired today? I think it's my allergies. Balsam of Peru. Right there. One of my favorites too. And then tangerine. I love tangerine so much. Now we have 2 citrus oils in this month's kit, but that's because they're partners. Citrus in general is uplifting, right? It's always a top note. It's very inspiring. It's connective. Tangerine and bergamot, though, are very different, and I'm going to talk to you about their medicine and sort of their trajectory and their lineage. Tangerine is for happiness, joy, like effervescence, optimism. It's going to be okay. It's going to be great. So it's sort of like a youthful vibration. Bergamot's different. Bergamot is sophisticated. Do you know what I mean? Bergamot is sophisticated. Bergamot is for success. Bergamot is, what's the best way to describe it to you? It's called the crown of success. It's actually, bergamot's a member of the mint family. So even though it's a citrus tree, right, and a citrus fruit that it comes from, it's related to mint. So that's where a lot of the prosperity energy that we associate with bergamot comes from, as opposed to tangerine, which does not have prosperity energies associated with it. It is prosperity, tangerine. If you think of prosperity as prosperity of happiness, then yes, tangerine is a prosperity oil. We will do geranium at some point, Nathan, because I love it too. It's one of my favorites. In fact, geranium, did you guys see Grail perfume today? If you missed Elohim, Grail is the next best thing. Grail was inspired by my friend from Glastonbury, and it is incredible. Did you see it today? And the stones have all been charged with, do I have it here? Oh, I have it. With my water from the Chalice Well at Glastonbury. So all of the aquamarine crystals with Grail, and there's geranium in there. So if you missed Elohim, a lot of you have gotten Grail today, and I can't wait to hear your experience with it. It's also the biggest size perfume I've done this year. It's 2 full ounces. I think most of our perfumes are right around 10 mLs. Isn't it cool? I know, I wish I had scratch and sniffo vision so I could like show you what Grail smells like. It's unbelievable. Anyway, I digress. Okay, bergamot. Crown of success. If you mix bergamot essential oil with tiger's eye gemstones, that is the best combination for justice, good outcomes, right outcomes. It's sort of like everything in the universe unfolding is exactly as it should When you combine it with tiger's eye, it activates two different chakras. It activates the sacral chakra and the solar plexus chakra. So I like that combination. So a lot of you have asked, like, okay, so what combinations do you use for justice or fairness or a good legal outcome or something like that? Bergamot and tiger's eye. Always remember that. Good outcomes, right outcomes, justice, fairness. Absolutely good for court, for Colin, right? In her day-to-day. So that's my favorite combination. Now, I was a little disappointed when I learned, and honestly, part of me still doesn't believe it because I love bergamot tea. Do you love it too? When I was in college, bergamot tea was my secret because I was really naughty, and a lot of times I would stay up all night before an assignment to finish it because I like to work under pressure, and I would drink Earl Grey, and I would stay up all night long. When I have a cup of Earl Grey, I can't sleep for at least 8 hours. It's like this turbocharge of like battery energy. I don't know what it is, but it does that to me, even to this day. If I have Earl Grey with dinner, I'm not sleeping. Which sometimes I want that. Like if I have a long day, I'll have Earl Grey in the morning because I know I'm going to have an 8 or 10 hour stretch and I just want that energy. Earl Grey is bergamot. Now the legend, there's two different legends. One says that accidentally, and I don't like to believe this, accidentally a shipment of tea and a shipment of bergamot essential oil collapsed together in a boat at some point. And the oil slipped into the tea. Because I always wanted it to be intentional, though there's a whole other lineage medicine or lineage kind of history with bergamot that says, I know. So I don't believe that one as much as the other legend that talks about Native Americans using it as a tonic for depression. That they would take the leaves and the rind of the bergamot fruit, right, from Calabria, Italy. Somehow it made its way to North America. And that Native Americans were using it and making a tincture or a tea out of it to elevate mood. That actually makes sense to me because it does. I mean, it's a natural, uplifting sort of, it's not an aphrodisiac. It doesn't bring any sort of like sexual energy with it. It really is all solar plexus, like ready, go, do it, move, keep going. It reminds me of carnelian. The energy of bergamot's very similar to carnelian. So anyway, I'm going with that story just because I don't like to think that it's some accidental shitstorm where on some boat some tea slapped into a box of essential oil and all of a sudden you have this tea that we all love. Like in my experience, it has to be more intentional than that. Our ancestors were smarter than that. Dot Lawnmower is mentioning Paris tea, which is one of my favorite teas of all time. Oh my god, Paris tea. So anyway, not to digress, but Paris tea has bergamot in it, and it's super yummy. I have a little container of Paris tea that I hoard because I'm super worried I'm going to run out of it because it's expensive. So if you haven't worked with Paris tea, it's really beautiful. Okay, ready? It is prosperity, success. You put a few drops in your wallet to bring more money. You anoint a dollar bill before it goes into the cash register of a business. It will attract more prosperity. They say that if you put it in your socks, that you will walk a path of prosperity. And I have friends who do that. They anoint their feet with bergamot before they put their shoes on in the morning to go to work or whatever, and they say that it helps them walk the path of prosperity. I leave that up to you. It centers scattered energy, restores balance and stability, it shields you. Do you know what it does? It blocks psychic exhaustion. You know that feeling when like you're energetically depleted because you've been reading too much or like intuiting too much or channeling too much and you just feel like it's too much all around? Bergamot's really good for like resetting you, recalibrating you. Why not rub it on a credit card, right? I mean, plus it just smells good. So I'm going to take 3 deep inhales with you. Ready? I love that so much. Honestly, Michelle, there's like nothing it doesn't do. Bergamot's just big magic medicine. Okay, and if you want, you can put a drop on your charcoal if it's still warm for you. Just to diffuse. Put it on your charcoal. It is so good. Like that's just good. Smoky. Oh, that's amazing. Okay, love that. Then you have tangerine, which is important medicine too. Tangerine. Oh, I got it on my hands. Now I have to rub it on my close. Hold on. Okay, tangerine. Isn't it beautiful? Amy's anointing her money with it. Oh yeah, Larissa, put in bath salts, put in lotions. You just don't want to apply too much of it directly to your skin, undiluted, or what they call neat, because the citrus oils tend to be a little bit aggressive. And so some people have a little bit of a reaction to them because they're strong, right? You don't want to put it on directly onto your skin and then go out in the sun, because citrus oils are photosensitive. And so those are just like precautionary tales. But you can certainly mix it with jojoba oil. You can mix it with coconut oil, which is one of my favorites. You can make a really beautiful massage oil that way. My favorite is citrus with ginger. Have you ever tried that? A little ginger CO2 and some tangerine or some blood orange oil and a little bit of coconut oil. Sexy time massage situation. Definitely helps with digestive issues, 1000%. Coconut oil is the best massage oil because it's so good for your skin. It's so organic. It's so natural. Okay. Tangerine, 3 deep inhales. Ooh. Now, I will be honest, I like it better scent-wise than bergamot because it's just so beautiful. And so you can put a little bit of that. You don't want to apply it neat to your skin, but a little bit on your charcoal would be beautiful. I want a little bit more than that. That's heavenly too. You don't like it as much burn. The bergamot's a little bit deeper when it burns than the tangerine is. Did you notice that? So that's a little bit different. Yeah, we increased the bottle size, but we didn't increase your price. So you're getting more oils every month now because we went with a new bottle manufacturer. The bottles are a little stronger, a little bit thicker, and they're also larger. So I'm glad you're enjoying that. Makes me happier too. Okay, alleviates stress, uplifting, brings happiness. It's solar energy, also summer solstice energy. So again, if you wanted to take some of your herbs from this month and make a summer solstice incense blend, you could combine it with the tangerine essential oil. You can combine it with the bergamot essential oil. You have herbs and oils this month that are traditionally associated with the summer solstice or Litha. So that's good for you to know. Oh, you're so welcome. I'm happy to do it. Okay, it eases anger. If you're mad, tangerine drops you down a peg. So if you just feel frustrated or I don't know, you can carry it in your purse. It's almost like a rescue remedy. You know what I mean? If you're out and about and you get mad about something. You kind of can't be mad and smell tangerine at the same time, in my personal opinion. Right? The stoppers are good. I think they're helping a lot. It clarifies your thought process, purifies your mind of fear and self-limiting beliefs, and puts you in the present moment effortlessly. Kenneth is can we throw tangerine at people? Technically I think not, but you can ward them. Be back with your negativity. You cannot enter my field. I am happy in this moment. I think you could do that. So Susan, we're going to be crafting incense before too long as one of our soul shift crafts, and so I'll be teaching you about that. But in general, you want to mix your herbs first in a mortar and pestle and sort of grind them to your desired consistency, and then you want to add a few drops of essential oil to what we call bind the ingredients. And then the real issue with incense becomes, do you want it to be self-burning, in which case you add something called Mako powder, M-A-K-K-O powder. When you add Mako powder to your incense, it makes it self-incendiary, meaning you don't have to put it on charcoal, which is kind of nice. If you don't mind burning it on charcoal, then you don't have to add an incendiary agent like Mako, and you can just use your herbs with your essential oils. I'm so glad. Christian's excited. Okay, Balsam of Peru, last but not least. Did you know the Balsam of Peru was considered a plant teacher to the Mayans and the Aztecs? 3 deep inhales. Oh, it's going to be super fun. I love making incense. It's one of my favorite things to do. And do you know, when I was a little witchlet, when I was going through priestess training when I was 18 years old, I was going through it with a friend of mine. And so at summer solstice, we took all of our ingredients out right over here, right near the ocean here in Redondo Beach. And we dedicated and consecrated our tools, and we made an incense and all these things. And I still have a little bottle of it at home. And so incense never goes bad on you. It's dried herbs and resins, so it's like, when you make things, remember to save them. Because even if you don't use them now, 20 years from now, you're going to be so excited that you still have these beautiful tools that you made. And it'll bring you back when you burn it or when you work with it. It'll bring you back to this time and be a sweet reminder for you. Mako powder you can get on Amazon. Honestly, what can't you get on Amazon? It's really scary at this point. Why do you think I try to make so many custom things? Because that's the only thing they can't take over. Okay, Balsam of Peru comes from El Salvador. Interestingly enough, and this is what interests me, the first batches of Balsam of Peru, Balsam de Peru, were coming out of Peru. And people thought, because it's called Balsam of Peru, that it was coming from Peru, but it's not. It is Salvadoreña. It is a tree, a plant teacher that comes from El Salvador, which is a beautiful country, sacred, holy space. And so don't be deceived by the name, because even though it's called Balsam of Peru, right, it comes from El Salvador, and that's important for you to know. That's exactly right. Okay. What else do I want to tell you about that? The Mayans and the Aztecs, and really this it was an Incan tradition, they understood this to be the most powerful, ready, anti-inflammatory, anti-swelling agent in the plant kingdom. This reduced, more than anything. Are you Salvadoran, Kat? That's so cool. This is your medicina, my friend, my sister. Isn't that fun just to know? Like, I love it when I have tools from my parents' countries of origin, because it's just like I feel so connected to them after that. Yes, edema, any kind of physical swelling. So this was the plant teacher that they would call upon in their Mayan and Aztec ceremonies, and their specific prayers. They had prayers for each kind of illness or physical challenge, medical challenge. This was the plant medicine they called upon to instantly reduce swelling and inflammation, especially from allergic reactions and conditions. That's good for you to know. we've got Salvadoreños in the feed tonight. Louise, I didn't know that. That's so cool. One of my best friends in high school was from El Salvador, so I've just a lot of love and a lot of respect and appreciation. Okay. It's peaceful, it's warm, it's calming. It is a dramatic heart opener. No matter how much you've been hurt, betrayed. Well, here's the thing, Alicia is asking, can it go under the eyes? I don't know. I'm very careful what I put under my eyes, because that's a very sensitive area. My mom's an esthetician, and she just taught me from the time I was young, like, don't put anything under your eyes, because you can really easily damage the little area under your eyes. In fact, if you talk to most estheticians, including my mom, you're never supposed to touch under your eyes with anything but your ring fingers. Did you know that? Because by definition, you can't exert as much pressure with your ring fingers as you can with your index fingers, and you're less likely to damage the skin there. Helichrysum, on the other hand, yes. A lot of face creams, eye creams have helichrysum in them. A lot of the big brands that charge $100 for an eye cream, and the only active ingredient in it is helichrysum. So that's one for sure. That's really good for you to use. And you could just add it to a little bit. Coconut oil is my favorite under eye treatment. You mix a little bit of coconut oil with a little bit of violet leaf oil, essential oil or absolute, a little bit of helichrysum, a little bit of rosehip seed oil, mix all that up, put a rose quartz stone in there, and then when you touch gently under your eyes, it actually reduces the puffiness and the inflammation. So those are all good tips. So Tammy, that's what I do for under eye bags. A little coconut oil, a little bit of helichrysum, a little violet leaf. You can basically take the Sage Goddess Anti-Aging Serum, which has all of that in it, and then blend it with coconut oil, and under your eyes it goes. I'm glad it's helpful for you. These are like the fun little tips. I try to blend like Western traditional skincare and healing remedies with Eastern medicine and the things that we're learning now. And honestly, I'm tempted to add Balsam of Peru to my under eye regimen. I just haven't done it yet, and I don't know that it's something that you can use. Yeah, absolutely. It is absolutely face saving, and helichrysum is considered to be cutting edge in the facial serum and moisturizer world right now, which is really funny because we've known about it for a long time. I've been using Helichrysum on my face for 15 years, so I'm always like, really? That's the best you got? Well, I'm so glad you guys are enjoying this. Okay. So it is also protective. It alleviates physical and emotional pain. This is Balsam of Peru. It's really good for empaths because it helps to open your heart without exposing you to unnecessary manipulation. It's supposed to be heart protective, as well as heart opening, which is really special. And it's in a lot of colognes and perfumes. You probably recognize it to some extent. Sometimes, I will tell you, perfumers use Balsam of Peru when they don't want to spend money on things like Styrax and sandalwood, because it can function as a very similar base note and kind of take the place, and it's slightly less expensive than Styrax and sandalwood. But then the side benefit is if you are swollen, it's going to unswell you, supposedly. Yeah, it's super foggy. Do you see it off to the side here? Bring my mace a little bit closer to you. It's like super foggy. I'm into it. I love it because I love that medicine. Okay, avocado oil is healing, balancing, nourishing. This is the best oil to use on your hair. I have a little avocado oil mask in my shower, and it's in a dropper bottle, and it's just avocado and a few other really nourishing oils, a little bit of fractionated coconut, and then what I do is I warm it under the shower before I apply it to my ends, and then I apply it to my ends and I do my shaving and stuff, and then I rinse that off with my conditioner. That's a really good tip. So neroli is one of the really good moisturizing oils. You can add a little bit of argan into that blend too. Jasmine's really good for your hair. In terms of like attracting moisture. You want the hair oil? You guys can make your own hair oil. You honestly, tonight, if you wanted to, where did I put my dropper? Here it is. You could hold off mixing a perfume tonight and use your dropper and your avocado oil to make a hair mask. You probably have a lot of that in your medicine cabinet right now. It's just really, and I use it because I have really fine hair and it doesn't weigh it down. But I only do like the bottom 3 or 4 inches with avocado oil. You don't want avocado oil up here because it's going to make your scalp seem really oily. Same with coconut oil. Never put coconut oil within 2 inches of your actual scalp because it'll be very hard if you have fine hair. Olive oil, same thing, like what a nightmare. But olive oil, if you add a little olive oil with coconut oil, argan oil, avocado oil, with neroli and jasmine and a little bit of, that's like sex for your hair. And if you just put it on the last, like even 2 inches, what it will do, because when your hair, you get split ends when your hair breaks. When your hair breaks at the bottom, it goes like this and it keeps breaking until it snaps. And so what you want to do is bind the ends. It basically just tightens up the cuticle a little bit. Yeah, and so you put this on before you rinse, give it about 5 minutes. Yeah, you don't want oil on your scalp. I have customers come to me sometimes and they're like, I think I did this wrong with the oils, and I'm like, that doesn't look good. Now for scalp issues, are you ready? Like, I will save your life, whether it's alopecia or eczema on the scalp, and unfortunately Zoe has some of this, so I've had to do this for her. I just made it for her last week. Coconut oil mixed with avocado oil and tea tree will take care of any psoriasis, flaking, dandruff, alopecia, anything. Yeah, so just coconut oil, avocado oil, and tea tree, and it will take all that away. If you've been itching and it's kind of hurting a little bit, add some lavender oil. That will also soothe the top layer of the skin, but tea tree oil. And then, the other weird shit that happens with kids is like, they get lice and stuff, which also responds to tea tree. Chelsea's asking for amounts, and Chelsea, I'm like the shittiest measurer ever. I kind of eyeball everything. So I would probably say the bottle's about 3/4 full of avocado and coconut oil to about 1/4 of tea tree essential oil. And then what I do is I take all of that and I mix it with her conditioner and I massage it into her scalp. And that takes care of all of it. Yeah, so and you learn what you can work with. Tammy was saying lavender gives her migraines, so it's like you gotta find what your medicine is, and it's different for all of us, and that's part of the fun and the discovery of aromatherapy too. Is it's like okay, so is this good medicine for me? Is this not good medicine for me? Is there something else I should be working with, coming into relationship with? Right? That's right. I love to cook, but I don't use recipes because I'm Sag Moon. We don't like rules. Okay. Here's what you need to know. You got to make a choice if you're going to make perfume with me tonight. If you want to make something rich and thick and sexy and kind of earthy, you're going to need to start with your balsam of Peru and then add your citrus in. If you want to make something that's primarily uplifting but still heart opening, then you're going to start with your citrus and add the balsam of Peru after. It depends on what you're looking for. Yeah, you got it, Alicia. That's exactly right. And your hair will thank you for that, and your scalp will thank you for that too. It's really, really important. Even if all you do is take your regular shampoo in your shower right now and add tea tree oil to it, it will reduce itching and irritation in the scalp instantly, like overnight. It's antifungal, antimicrobial, antibacterial, anti. Okay, I want to make this deep. I think so. I'm going to start with. See, Roxanne's going sexy and Diana's going uplifting. Okay, so again, if you want a deep, sensual, compassion-oriented, heart-opening blend, you're going to start with your balsam of Peru. If you want something uplifting, you're going to start with your citrus. The candle is equal parts. You know what I mean? It's order of operations and amounts that you include. Okay, Jennifer said she doesn't know what she did, but she loves it. So shit, now you have to figure out what you did so you can tell us. Okay. So I'm going to go a whole bottle in of my balsam of Peru. Because I really love it. For some people it's not their medicine, but it sure is mine. I feel like part of what balsam of Peru does is it just calms you down. It's like lower the volume and too much smoke from my incense. The candles are almost always equal parts. Almost always. I'm really glad you like it. Okay, great question. Work with your essential oils first, then we do the carrier oil last. Because if you do it the other way, you won't really know how the perfume's going to smell. You always have to blend your essential oils first. The alchemy of that begins, okay? And then you add in your other ingredients. Okay. So I'm going to blow into my bottle. And so we call upon and give thanks to the beautiful plant spirit, tree spirit of balsam of Peru, balsam de Peru. We give thanks for your ancient medicine that we know has been bringing healing and soothing energies, heart-opening energies of compassion and healing to people around the world since ancient times. And so we call upon you as a plant teacher today, a tree teacher, to show us the way to stay calm and cool and collected no matter what challenges or roller coaster fun, wild rides the universe brings. Help us to stay centered in joy. Help us to stay centered in cheer. Help us to stay centered in beauty. Help us to always know how to get back home. Teach us the path back home when we lose our way. Amen, aho, and so it is. Okay, now, bergamot and tangerine energies are equally important to me because it's prosperity and happiness, right? It's like doing well and enjoying the process. That's what tangerine and bergamot medicine is all about. You want to succeed, but you also want to enjoy the process of succeeding, don't you? No, True North, you're fine. Even though it's thick, it still is. It still blends well. So I'm going to go in about halfway, I think, on my tangerine oil because I want it to be pretty strong. Just a touch more. I want my blend to be really strong. I'm not putting as much avocado in it. Oh, that's good. So we give thanks to you, beautiful, sweet tangerine. medicine of hope and joy and optimism and expansiveness, medicine of creativity, open arms, enthusiasm, excitement, enjoyment, finding pleasure in simple moments, and really enjoying the fruits of your labors in the year ahead. Amen, aho, and so it is. Julie's got a great question. She said, I love the essential oil perfumes, but I find the scent doesn't last. Is there something we can add to make the scent last? It's a fucking fantastic question. I'm glad you asked it. Artificial perfumes, like department store perfumes, add fixatives, what are called fixatives. I don't, because some of them are carcinogenic and it's bad news. Okay, so that's part of why I've really moved away from that world. But they do it to make your scent last longer. And so fixatives are these artificially incorporated ingredients that help to enhance the smell of your oils and ingredients, and also make sure that they last longer on your skin, because that's what people want. Now, what I will tell you is there are natural fixatives, okay? Patchouli is a natural fixative, sandalwood's a natural fixative, Styrax is a natural fixative, and so what those tend to do, that's right, thank you, Nathan, frankincense, myrrh, Styrax, they adhere, they sort of bond with, and they extend the life of. Now here's the challenge. The natural fixatives are all strongly scented. If you put patchouli in this perfume, it's not going to smell like this anymore. And so what I have found, interestingly enough, is Balsam of Peru is something of a natural fixative. Experiment with it. You're making it tonight, right? So it's a natural fixative. So see what you think. Maybe this will be your new go-to, because what I have found with Balsam of Peru that I haven't found with myrrh and frankincense and Styrax and patchouli and some of the other natural fixatives, sandalwood, is that it doesn't disrupt as much as those do. It's not as strong, and yet it still helps, your scent to maintain, to adhere, to stick, to last. So Colin did all bergamot, almost all the Balsam of Peru, almost as much tangerine, and a quarter of avocado oil. Okay, you guys have moved on. I'm going right on to bergamot because you guys are ahead of me. Hold on. I'm going to catch up to you now. So my favorite Earl Grey tea, I am adding you in for energies of success and pure joy, radiant expression. Oh, I really do like that. Oof. That is good medicine right there. So I'm calling in those energies and frequencies of the crown of success, and to allow success to be a source of heart-opening joy, expansive creative potential, and heart-opening. Did I say heart-opening already? Ooh, that is so good. Okay, so I'm just blending it before I add my carrier oil, just so I can really get a good, clear sense of that base blend. Yeah, it's baby wipe time. That's right, Sharon Westline. Oh, that's good, you guys. That is so good. I am into that. That could be a daily perfume thing for me. I really like it a lot. We tend not to sell extra oils, although we have started to do, where we can, a little refill kit for you guys 3 or 4 months down the road. We can't refill everything because some of the ingredients are just really hard to get. But where we can, we try to supplement. It just takes us a few months to get that together once all of the regular mesas have gone out. I love knowing your different variations. I know Balsam of Peru is the thing. It's the business. Okay. So I like where I'm at. So I want to thank these 3 tree and plant teachers for coming together in a good way to support my growth, to support the work I do with others, and to help bring more joy and optimism and beauty to my life. Amen, aho, and so it is. Yeah, it needs a good name, doesn't it? Okay, now avocado is coming in to soften. It's bringing a super buttery energy of softness. Avocado is healing. Avocado nurtures. Avocado opens. So I'm calling in each one of those properties with each drop of that beautiful oil, giving thanks to beautiful avocado medicine for balancing, for expansion, for softening me, for nurturing me, for healing me, for offering comfort, for offering support, stability. Stone fruits all do that. They're all medicine of stability. Did you know? Oh, Kat, I see you. I know you said you can't comment, but I do see you. And so we thank Avocado Medicine for coming in to bless us, connect us, nurture us, heal us, soften us in a good way, and to help us work in a complete and whole and supported way with the other plant teachers, tree teachers from tonight, fruit teachers. And this is where you can really take the time, really take the time to give thanks, to create blessings. As you see each drop come in, it's like, what are you calling in? What are you releasing? As I work with this blend, I want to release despair. I want to release a lack of trust. I want to release fear. I want to release hardness and judgment. I want to release trying to understand or fix anyone or anything. I want to release the need to know. I want to release any hard edges that aren't serving me at this time. And I just want to open to complete trust and beauty and joy, optimism about the future, right? Really be mindful here in your practice as you're blending. What are you releasing? What are you calling in? What are you releasing? What are you calling in? What are you releasing? What are you calling in? Mm-hmm. No more shame, right? It's beautiful. No more attachments. Oh. Okay, I kind of like where it's at. I didn't want to dilute it too much because I want it to be really super strong. And so turning it 3 times, which completes the blending cycle. Good names for this, right? Joy, trust. I'm excited for you, Kat. That's really, really cool. You sure do have Medicina. It's very important, actually, and has been since ancient times. You should be very proud of your lineage tonight. Okay. I'm going to call mine happy. I'm going to call mine happy. Because that's how it makes me feel. It makes me feel just happy. It kind of feels like it feels like the energy of a day where you have nothing you have to do. And it's like, what do I want to do? And then your mind just starts to fill with, I want to eat my favorite food and go to the park and sit in the grass or enjoy my kids, or just one of those days where you're like, oh, I have a whole day. That's the energy of this perfume for me. It's like spaciousness and happiness and a reminder of how powerful the simple things are, so that when I get into those places, as I do and as we all do, of sadness and discouragement and all those things, this is good medicine to bring you back. I always find my way back, even in those moments when I feel really discouraged about humanity or whatever's going on. Something comes along to say, nope, nope, nope. There's still plenty around you that is so beautiful. Like, don't let yourself linger there. It's a beautiful place. Aho. Isn't it fun? It's delightful. It's happy. It's delightful. Oh, I love that. True North said, Wild Heart Wonder is my favorite perfume we've made so far. Isn't that cool? Freedom, intended joy. Right? It's like, why not? Honestly. Whenever I feel like, oh, maybe I'm just kind of naively optimistic. Part of me is like, and why not? Why not? What's the alternative? Can't sit in pessimism. Expansion, joy of life, nymph for Larissa, joy for Sarah. So fun. Joyousness for Rhonda. Opened grace for Rose. Isn't that beautiful? Pure Algeria for Sheila. Love it. And you don't have to name it if you don't want to either. You can kind of sit with what wants to come through. Ooh, hold on, let me not grab that way. Okay. So now I'm going to turn your attention, darlings, if I can. There we go. To our grid for this beautiful month. I'm going to charge my amulet at the same time, which is why I'm not wearing it right now. Okay, so for this part of our experience together, we need a double terminated wand. And so I'm actually going to light my candle for this experience. I'm going to put my perfume over here in the west. I'm so happy with it. I really love it. I hope you love yours too. Like, it really does make my heart expand. I feel so blissed out on it right now. I'm very grateful for that medicine. I'm thankful to those teachers for providing it. Okay, I hope you love this. I really do. We had these custom made for us. So these are little agate power, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, they're 8. Little power octagons that are also generators. Isn't that cool? So this might be a good one to keep on your altar, because agate, in addition to being a stone of protection, is also 8 is the number of prosperity, right? Endless expansion, infinite potential. And so this is a helpful little tool that we had made for you in the center there. And then thulite, this is thulite right here. Thulite, even though it's pink, is a throat chakra stone, and thulite is the stone of fearless, expansive communication. So that is thulite right there. See how it's pink and it's opaque? It's not translucent. Okay. Yeah, you can absolutely add your fragrance from last month to the 4 corners of your board. The reason I didn't do that tonight is that mine is at home, because I've been using it as medicine with Zoe. Because I made an incredible digestive blend last month. It's really been helping her a lot. But if you have yours, since mine's at home, I don't, but if you have yours, you can just put 1 drop of last month's fragrance at the 4 corners of this month's mesa, and it sort of continues the energy line. Okay. Let's make sure there's nothing else I want to tell you about thulite. Harmonious relationships, clear communication, unconditional love. It also helps you see things. Do you remember me talking about seeing things from the 30,000 foot view, trying to get above your problems so that you aren't so mired down in the details? That's the stone of that. This is the put it in perspective stone, so that you don't overreact to your life. And that's why it's in this month's gemstone set, because you're more likely to be happy when you're not overreacting. Does that make sense? So this is the keep your shit together and communicate clearly stone. Like I said, agate is protection, loving kindness, deep kindred connection, which is also a source of joy. Then the next stone in your grid, of course, is ocean jasper. Ocean jasper looks like a lot of different things. So let me show you, because my 4 different pieces look like 4 different stones. So the pink stones are the thulite. These stones are the ocean jasper, because ocean jasper comes in every color ray. See that? How there's red and green and yellow and every other color on there? That's ocean jasper. That's actually a really beautiful piece of it. This one's more kind of like yellow, gray, and then this is more like red and pink. Yeah, so if it's not pink and it's not small, it's ocean jasper. It's really weird that I can't talk to you and do this at the same time, but this isn't the Food Network, so I can't do that. Yeah, and oh my god, ocean jasper comes in green too, so you might have green pieces. So you're looking, if it's not pink all pink, and if it's not small, it's ocean jasper. Ocean jasper comes from Madagascar, and what's really cool about it is that the mines, when they were really operating, right now they're mostly closed, but when the mines were really operational, they were run by women. And all of the ocean jasper was found along these sort of like coastlines in Madagascar. And so what's really cool is buying ocean jasper at the time meant really supporting a female-led industry. The women were mining the stones, they were selling the stones. It was just kind of a cool thing. And part of what I love about that is water medicine is female medicine. And so having a stone like ocean jasper being mined and distributed primarily by women, to me is like totally aligned with the medicine. So I love ocean jasper. Ocean jasper is about being happy where you are with what you have. Okay? And then petersite, last but not least. Petersite, think of petersite as the stone version of that happiness that you experience when you first fall in love. And petersite has a little bit of like a flash to it, just a tiny, tiny bit. I've had some crazy petersite jewelry in my recent gemstone sales online. Have you seen them? Like crazy petersite jewelry at crazy prices. Petersite is expensive. It's more rare than a lot of stones. And it really is that kind of like giddy happiness as opposed to a grounded happiness with ocean jasper. And I figured in a kit where we're really honoring joy, so you have 2 thulite and 2 petersite. So you have a petersite at north, south, east, and west, and then at the cross quarters you have an ocean jasper, and then underneath your thulites and your petersite you have quartz points. Does that make sense? So you're going to take your double terminated wand to activate a grid. This is how I activate all grids, and so we do this during Soul Shift, but it's also how I activate home grids and everything else. I'm also going to activate our mini mesa, which is our joy pillar made in agate, and our talisman as well. So you start at the center. I always go north, but you can go in any direction you want. North and east are the 2 best places to start. And so you touch the center pyramid, and then you go to the uppermost point, and you call in those energies. So I call in energies of quartz for magnification, and agate for protection and happiness. I call in thulite for clear communication and peace, and agate for happiness and protection. I call in ocean jasper medicine for grounded joy, and agate for protection and happiness. I call in petersite medicine for awesome, amazing, enthusiastic giddiness, and back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to quartz. Oh, actually, sorry, I shouldn't have called that in there. It was sitting wrong. Okay, just out to ocean jasper, and then back to agate. Then out to quartz for magnification, back to agate for protection and happiness. To petersite for utter bliss and joy, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to ocean jasper for water medicine, grounded happiness, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to quartz for magnification, and then expansion, back to agate for happiness and protection. Out to thulite for clear communication, authenticity, and expression, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to ocean jasper for water medicine, grounded happiness, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to quartz medicine for expansion and creation, magnification, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to petersite for excitement, bliss, pure joy, radiant joy, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to ocean jasper for purification, happiness, grounded happiness, expression of divine feminine energy, back to agate for protection and happiness. Out to quartz medicine one more time for expansion, magnification, back to agate for protection and happiness. And then I'm going to touch the center pyramid out to my talisman, activating, of course, the beautiful octahedron, medicine of as above, so below, and balance within me, balance without me, balance inside and balance and outside, mirrored back to me, reflected back to me in the world, calling in protection, happiness, and balance in this month of April, back to agate for protection and happiness, and then reaching out to the mini mesa, calling in experiences and expressions of pure joy, protection as well, and then back to the center, protection and happiness. So we call these energies in for the highest good of ourselves as well as everyone we know and love. We call these energies in to support our work in April, to bless our magical work for each other, for ourselves. It's also for those we know, those we will help and heal in the month ahead. And of course, in any time in the future, whenever we come back to these tools, we ask that they integrate, support, vibrate with the same frequency. May these tools remind us all month long, and as often as we use them, that birthrights for us include joy and happiness and peace and good cheer, good luck, good fortune. We claim these, we call these energies in, we receive them with so much gratitude and humility, and we ask that as greater blessings come to us in the month ahead, that we are able to translate those blessings out into the world, to create opportunities for others to experience the same joy and peace and good cheer and prosperity and good luck that we will enjoy as well. And together we say, Amen Aho, and so it is. I'm also going to charge up the quartz points for our craft during week 4, expanding protection, expanding happiness, so that when we include those tools in our beautiful craft together, that they hold that same essence and that same frequency. If you want, you can also use the same tool to charge your perfume. So touch the center agate pyramid, happiness and protection, charging your oils. And you can even touch both ends of your double terminated wand to the tools to create just a bridge of energy, charging this perfume with all the energies of this grid. Amen Aho, and so it is. Amen Aho, and so it is. Nice to see you. I missed you down there. I gotta figure out my placement of my camera again. That's better. Okay. Let's see. Oh yeah. So the basics that your kit comes with, you got one of these. You either got one that's kind of firm and solid, or you got one that's sort of more fluid. I like the more fluidy one, but this one is just as good. And so you got a base crown with some flowers, and then you got some charms and 2 quartz points. I don't know if you got all the charms or just one charm. I think these are one of each of the different kinds. And then what I'm going to do is gather up some other crystals from my collection ahead of week 4, and kind of figure out different ways to weave them in. I might bring some sari ribbons in too, by the way, so I might wrap some additional ribbons because I'm kind of a ribbon heavy kind of girl when I make crafts. But you could use rhinestones, you could use all kinds of different things. Did you get 2 charms? Okay. So then you can kind of choose which charm feels right, or what kind of energy you want to call in, because each charm has a different meaning. Om is the sound of the name of God. The tree of life, the beautiful lotus, which is enlightenment and expansion. Moon energy, lunar energy, right, which is all creative possibility. And then solar energy, but it's also feminine. Solar energy that's masculine and direct and forceful and aggressive and assertive. But if you're going to wear this at summer solstice or Beltane, then solar energy makes perfect sense. So, and then there's a butterfly, right, for transformation. So it's all about kind of what energies you want this beautiful crown to represent for you. And then if you want, you could add a couple of additional quartz points pointing up, right, where it becomes like a real crown. And you guys, like every time you get an order from me, there's almost always a quartz point in there with your gemstone sets and stuff. So you guys probably have enough quartz points to really make this into a flying saucer if you wanted to, right? I'm glad you guys. Well, you know what? I'm happy to hear that tonight's work made you emotional, and I'll tell you why. It means you're doing the work. Happiness sometimes looks like tears. Do you know why? Because tears are one way that your body can autonomically express energy. Your body doesn't need your permission to cry. It can bypass your permission, and so it's another way to express energy. That's why tears are your body's attempt to purify and move through one emotion to something a higher frequency. I love that. Tammy says, tears are weaknesses leaving the body. You should make that into a meme, Tammy, and put it on social media. Can you imagine how many people would be healed by reading that? I'm really glad to hear that, Kenneth. Thank you for that feedback. Yeah, there was a lot of places and points in tonight's work that I think we're at an interesting place in the year, right? We're not quite the midpoint. There's all kinds of energy building. What you make of this energy that's building is all going to be about your intention and your focus. And so now's the time. Like, get happy, man. You know what I mean? Get optimistic, get focused, get real with yourself. Find a source of joy, something to lighten the mood and the energy. And when you can't find something, that's what plant teachers are for. That's what aromatherapy is about, because my intention, and you know, I bet your fingers smell good right now, so you can open your bottle and smell it, or just smell your fingers, but take 3 deep inhales of what you made tonight. We're developing what we call a scent association in shamanic studies, okay? So scent association is a training of your brain, an end training of your brain to know that every time it smells that smell, a little light bulb should go off. Ah, zing, I'm going to be happy, okay? Because that's what those plants are about. So plant spirits, we welcome you to entrain us to a higher frequency so that every time we smell this particular combination, you remind us in such sacred and subtle and yet powerful ways that happiness is our birthright. Joy is our birthright. Good cheer is our birthright. Good luck is our birthright. Right? If it isn't love, it isn't yours. That's such beautiful, good medicine for this month. If it isn't joy, it isn't yours. And honestly, if it's not joyful, what I tell people when people bring like a bad vibe, but I still love them and want to be in relationship with them, what I tell them is, I'm gonna give you some time to work that out. I'm not telling you have to change, but I am telling you, like, I think you're stuck there, and so I'm gonna set an intention that joy will find you, and I'm gonna give you some time to work with that, to receive that frequency and get into a new space. You don't have to say like, oh, I can't be around you because you're not happy. But sometimes I do tell people, like, if you can't find the joy, then you need to take the time to look for it. And I wish you a beautiful experience that aligns you with a frequency of joy, so that you can have a lived experience of that. That's still love. That's still telling people, like, I understand where you are. I also have to protect where I am, and so I wish you joy. I hope you can find it. I hope it finds you. You know what I mean? Yeah, I don't enable people's misery. I don't support it. I don't enable it. I don't finance it. I tell people, like, you need to find joy, and if you can't, I can recommend some plants and some medicines that you can work with, and I'm going to wish that joy finds you. And the best way to train joy, if you literally can't find it, Casey, is start with plant medicine. You need to smell this thing 100 times a day, all month long. You need to light that candle all month long. You need to join me next week for our journey and really work with the medicine of that journey. You need to constantly ask yourself, what's beautiful right now? What's happy right now? What's good right now? And say it out loud. My son got into accelerated math today. Like, honestly, if the rest of my day went to hell in a handbasket, like, that happened today. And I'm really excited for him because that was a big deal for him. It's the little things. Now, somebody else may look at that and say, who cares? But, I mean, it was a big deal. And I'm going to be joyful about it. On some days, all I can say that I'm joyful for is that the trees are blooming, or it's, you know, like, some days it's hard to find the joy. But are you looking for it? Are you looking for something to critique or judge or be fearful about or be anxious about or regret or resent, or, you know, it's like, where are you looking? Joy's all around you. Thanks, you guys. He's really excited. He's super proud. He's worked really hard this year. My kids are really good kids. I'm so proud. They really are good kids. Not just me as a mom saying that. Look for joy. When you can't find it, smell your oils. It really does work. It'll bring you back. It'll bring you back. Remember that your olfactory system in your brain is the oldest part of your brain, and it records your memories of scent from ancient times. If you guys are coming tomorrow night, I have a perfume that I made for tomorrow night called Miraphor. I'm going to offer it on Friday in the shop, but people tomorrow night are going to experience it for the first time. The Miraphors were ancient Egyptian priestesses, myrrh priestesses, And they used to bring the essential oils to the temples and anoint people. That was their job. They were the oil priestesses, the keepers of scent. And so I made a perfume honoring them. But that's, our lineage goes back to the Myrrhafors, to the myrrh priestesses, to the oil priestesses, and to the ones who use these sacred tools to shift energy and the frequency. So don't underestimate the power of your perfume to really have an impact on your mental and physical and emotional well state, or wellness, or state of being, state of mind. No, I'm not doing the sound bath online because I'm going to be touching and massaging and doing a lot of individual work on people, and I want it to be very intimate, so didn't seem like a thing I could really bring online. So, but you know what, we're trying to figure out how we can translate it in a way that would allow you guys to participate too. All right, you guys, let me open my circle. As I did call in the guardians of the 7 sacred directions to be with us, to hold space with us as we did our sacred work tonight. We send blessings and wishes for all of the energies that we raised tonight to just go exactly where they need to go, sending them to the 4 directions, grounding any residual energy back down into Gaia, releasing the guardians of the 7 sacred directions, and thanking them for their presence and their support this evening. And with that, class is complete. Okay, I'm going to sign off now and then go live in about 2 minutes with your May Mesa. So if you want to see May Mesa, you'll want to go into the classroom or into the Facebook group in just about 2 minutes when I do that. And then after that, I'll be seeing you guys tomorrow. So glad you guys were here. Yeah, the Myrrhafor will be at sagegoddess.com on Friday, I believe. Whatever's left after tomorrow night. Yeah, it's just a little tiny bottle, but it's super yumminess. Very sexy. It has Styrax in it too, which is magical. All right, you guys. Have a great rest of your evening. It was really good to be with you tonight. I'll see you soon.